Hi everyone, this is Sarah, the Catholic Homemaker. Today I want to talk about strategies for bedtime routines for little children especially. So what have my husband and I have been doing for a very long time, for our oldest especially, is we typically give her a bath. That's not every single night, but here and there we give her a bath, especially if we get everything started early enough just to relax her. And we typically put her and her sister in the same bath together while watching them, and have her go to the bathroom because she is fully potty trained now, including at night. Change her into pajamas, brush her, make sure she brushes her teeth, and then read her stories, say her prayers, and turn off the lights. And for a while now, I've been telling her, I've been limiting the number of stories to 3 stories for her to pick out, because otherwise, if she has like so much energy, she'll just want me to keep reading and reading and reading just because she loves to read, which is wonderful. But she has to go to bed at a certain time. So, and by the way, I do read to her during the day at other times. So that's not the only time she's being read to. So that's why I do try to put a limit on the number of books, because otherwise it could last for a long time. And second thing that I have started to find that is working for us much better, because the only problem with the first one is that it just takes a very long time to put her to bed. It can take hours, which is a very long time, and it cuts into my husband and I, our time together after the kids go to bed. And we like to have that time together so we can spend some time together and connect after the kids. And the problem with that is sometimes it can lead us to going to bed much later than we want to, and just so we can have that time together, and it ends up making us more tired and not getting enough sleep. So that is the problem there. All right, so the second thing that as recently as yesterday I found that may be a better solution for us is yesterday was a little different because my family and I were all together celebrating something, and we had an early dinner, and then my daughters, they took a bath around 7 o'clock. So that was earlier, a lot earlier than normal. And they were like already ready for bed. I was like thinking to my husband, I was saying to my husband that maybe we should take them on a little walk, because I think she is really tired right now, and I think she would fall asleep pretty fast. Because typically when I go on walks with my daughter and she's in the stroller, even if it's during the day, it's so relaxing to her that she'll start falling asleep. And I'm like, sometimes it's so late in the day, I'm like, no, don't take a nap, because it affects her bedtime later on. So I was like, well, maybe she'll be relaxed enough that she'll just fall asleep, and then we can just put her straight into her bed. And sure enough, we got them in their pajamas and we took them on a walk. It was like right around 8 o'clock. And within a couple of minutes being on that walk, she fell asleep. And that was amazing to me. I'm like, yes, this is great. And we kept on going with the walk. We ended up doing like a 2-mile loop around the neighborhood. And during that time, we decided that we would do our 54-day novena during that time, because it takes 25 minutes to say those prayers. So it's definitely dedication, but this time it was more relaxed, because a lot of the times when we're finally saying our novena together, we're like, oh my gosh, it's so late, we gotta hurry up with this. And then we have like very little other time together after that. So that was kind of nice to have that time, and it was just like a peaceful walk around the neighborhood at night, just as it was kind of getting dark. And we had our time to say the rosary together, and lots of fresh air and everything. And then we just like put her right up into her bed, and she didn't wake up. So that was really awesome. And we were trying for the same thing tonight. The only difference is that we took like a 4-mile hike, and it was kind of later in the day, so it kind of like set us up for having a later dinner, later bedtime. And we got back later with dinner and we were trying to hurry up with that, but by the time we actually got out the door on the walk, it was like 8:48 at night. And it was different because it was darker outside and it was cooler. And yes, they were both ready for bed, both in their pajamas, but they're like summertime pajamas. And so my oldest was complaining, I'm cold. And my husband ended up like taking off his shirt so that she could be warm to wrap her legs around it. And so that helped. But then she was just like wide awake because she's like, it's so dark outside. And then she's like, she wanted to see the moon. So she was kind of distracted, and it was very different than what she was used to, and she couldn't really fall asleep. But we did end up doing our novena again, which was peaceful, but our daughter didn't actually fall asleep. She fell asleep briefly a couple times, but not quite all the way. And so we're like, okay, let's get her inside because I think she'll be relaxed enough once she gets home, because she kept on saying, I want to go home, I want to go home. And so we took her upstairs, and within a couple of minutes of putting her into her bed, turning off the lights, and me laying down next to her, she was able to fall asleep. So I think, this is a theory of mine, but I think the key is probably getting her to bed by 8 o'clock, or in bed by 8 o'clock. And I think that is the main key, because that was the big difference between yesterday and today. And it could be like in bed by 8 o'clock or maybe on a walk by 8 o'clock. But I guess I could test that theory out and see for sure. But I think the 8 o'clock may be the actual key, just because she tends to get a second burst of energy after 8 o'clock, and then it's very hard to put her to bed after that, no matter what you do. Even if you turn off the lights, and even if you give her a bath to relax her, it's just like she expects everything to happen. So I think maybe that is the key. And in the past, my husband, when I had certain events happening during the week where he would take care of her and I would be away, whether it was choir practice or something else, he would take her on a drive in order to relax her and get her to sleep. And oftentimes she would fall asleep in the car, and then when he would come back home, he would just take her out of the car seat. Or before that, he would turn off all the lights in the house where he would be walking to bring her in, just to make sure she wouldn't wake up from the lights. And he would take her in and just put her straight down on her bed. But I think it could be a combination of the walking or the driving, the motion of it all that relaxes her enough to put her to sleep, and or also the 8 o'clock bedtime hour, because other times it can be like a couple hours later when she actually falls asleep, and that's so late. Because as I said, the real issue with that is that it's cutting into the time that my husband and I have together, which is very important time. It's important for married couples to have time together to connect with each other. And it just kind of messes us up for the next day. So hopefully we found a long-term solution for this now. But I would love to hear from you all in the comments what your experiences have been, what has worked or what hasn't worked, and how long it takes you to get your little children to bed every night, or even big children. Let me know in the comments. And please like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell for all notifications. And until next time, bye.